And welcome back, everyone, to this week's Off the Page. I have no idea what the fuck that was. Don't ask. Um,
That was
that
kind of
was
funny.
intentional. It wasn't my voice cracking.
That sounded
But yeah,
intentional.
yeah. Google us. I had to really. I'm not in. I've had a weird couple of days, to be
Yeah,
perfectly honest. Like
bet.
something good happens, something bad
You're
happens.
still returning from injury.
I am. I have. I've actually got holes in my arm.
Yeah.
Disgusting. It's horrible. And then I got cut on my other arm, so I'm matching.
So-
Um. And then I cut my thumb this morning.
oh,
I've been all over the
he's
place.
injury prone. We gotta watch out with
I-
Mitch.
I'm not. That's the thing. I also locked myself in my house the other day. That was embarrassing. Luckily, one of the posties knocked. It's like, can you give me my keys? I'm
Sure.
locking.
The keys.
You looked at me so confused. But anyway, no one cares about that. Google us. You can find us anywhere. Twitter, Patreon, Facebook, SoundCloud, iTunes. It's all under the same thing.
Yeah.
Instagram.
If you just Google us, you'll see all the links. It's very easy and not
For
conceited
some
at all.
reason, we're not on Vero. I don't know why.
Why do we need
We
a
should
zero?
jump on the Vero bandwagon. We're on
Oh,
there anyway.
we are. Me and you are.
No, well, I
Does
mean, a listener on there.
I'm not
I
sure.
know. I'm acquaintances. They are.
I've been trying to decide what my first post should be, so like it's taking me a while because I can't
You're
decide.
one of those people who overthink social media.
Yeah, well, at least my first
Yeah, I
post.
should have known that.
Just on the first post. Everything else, not really.
My first post on Vero was a close up of
I
Steppenwolf's face.
I tried to put a post about a TV show, but it only let me put movies, so I don't know how to do TV shows because I watch a lot of TV, so that's why I'm like,
Movies are because isn't movies and TV under the same thing?
yeah, but it didn't let me find the TV show, so
You got
it just told me movies.
down probably. But yeah, you can find us all there. Patreon, shout out to you. When this goes back up on YouTube, you will be seeing the credits for the
Yeah,
$1.
and they're
So don't worry.
all set basically. Yeah, all the producer credits are all set and ready for most likely next Monday when it'll start again. It was supposed to be this Monday, but unfortunately circumstances it happened. So like we're moving
There,
it to
there
next
was
Monday.
there was a lot of YouTube fuckery for us
Yeah.
this week.
Hey, but we do keep y'all updated on Twitter, so
We
check
do,
out the Twitter.
we do. We should start saying when we're recording and get like Q&As.
That'd be nice. We could. I mean, uh,
Just,
yeah,
no,
we'll
just
see. We'll see.
like if there's like a light week, just throw some questions. Get
God
some questions.
damn, there's
Why
a
not?
kid screaming outside. Okay, hey kid, you don't die out there.
Oh, we know what Joe's into. It's the room all over again.
Oh God.
They're in the shed with Brie Larson. Um,
Yeah,
but
and
yeah,
also
you
us
know,
on
we've got
Twitter.
a light week. We're on Twitter, yeah. Mitch692 halftime Joe.
Yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it. Just need to let Mitch know that.
I mean, I always assume it's in with the rest of it. It's like you can find they're all on the CBC Twitter page.
I mean, they are like literally. If you went to our Twitter page, I think even if I think I had it on Facebook. I need to check again. You'll see our ads for like all our social medias.
I don't feel like people really go on the about pages on Facebook.
It's right there. There's no like. It's not like about going on it. It's literally just in front of your face once you get to the.
Yeah, but like, I don't feel like people really go on the page and click about or see anything. Like you just see it in your feed. That's how. Like, I could be wrong. I never really go unless I'm looking for a specific post.
True.
I never actually go on the pages unless I'm gonna want to like is it's just turned into one of those crappy ad pages. It's like which is most of the pages on Facebook.
Yeah.
Really. But yeah, we have a bit of a light week. Not much came out.
Nope.
But to be fair, the first one is a big one. I think it's a big one, and I really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's DC have released, or Tom King released it. DC let him release it. On Twitter.
Technically, yeah.
Like it's his story for Action Comics 1000, and I really fucking liked it.
Oh, it was great. I think it's called what's it called? Of Tomorrow. I think that's what it's called.
Like if there's anything that says Superman, it's this. To me.
Yeah,
Really.
that. I mean, it's a little mini review, I guess, but like it's what 4 pages, and that's kind of like what a lot of Action Comics 1000 is gonna be.
Yeah, I think that's what most of them are.
Yeah, about 4
Bendis will
pages.
probably have like half the book.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
and it's just gonna literally be contradicting everyone else's story. Like, nope, he didn't do this, he did that.
And I was a little confused at first when I was starting to read it, and then he talks about how long has it been, like a millennia or something like that. Was whoa, like
Yeah,
basically the
but
Earth it's at its last and
well,
second.
yeah, the sun's exploding and everything's
And
crumbling. But
I
he still says that Lois is alive.
yeah, well, yeah,
Well,
he
he
took a
does, like,
serum. He made a serum because he's super smart too. Can't forget about that.
I mean, true, true.
But
I suppose
he probably found it somewhere on some alien planet as well.
Kryptonian come. That's what I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
I mean, yeah, he's probably in a Fortress of Solitude. Like, hey, is there a planet out there that has a never aging serum that I can make? Yeah, there's one here. And then he just probably went. Like, he never
I
thought
like
about
how
it.
you completely avoided what I said there.
What'd you say?
I said Kryptonian come.
Oh, I didn't think about that. I thought you said. thought you said something else. I didn't think about that.
No, because I went to the whole Spider-Man like radioactive jizz that he
Yeah.
was gonna have at one point, and it's like, well, what if Superman's gave you eternal life?
See, I didn't even.
He is the fountain of youth.
I don't know why I thought you just said Fortress of Solitude, like kryptonite type stuff. And
No,
then
I literally just said Kryptonite come. That's all I said.
I didn't even realize you said that.
It's why he looks so youthful after 75
Yeah,
years. He was
and
never done.
you know, I guess John being half Kryptonian, he can stay alive forever as well, similar to Superman. And you know, it just shows
I
something that
never understood how that worked. Because he's half. Wouldn't he live half as long?
depends on which gene is dominant, I guess, right? And I'd assume the Kryptonian gene is dominant since he can fly and all that.
I suppose.
I mean, everybody has a dominant gene from their,
I'm gonna need all these questions answered in this issue.
yeah, bro. I mean,
It's big enough. It's basically a small novel anyway. Give me these answers.
yeah.
I'm getting demanded.
I gotta say, man, you know, someone who loves Smallville, the show, and like some of these smaller Superman stories that are grounded and more so about like his time on the farm and his family stuff, it was perfect. It was him basically going when this like being he can never die, or okay, like he never really ages. He's still alive like billions of years later. The
Well,
sun's
didn't he
about
have,
to
like,
destroy Earth.
He had a little bit of grey, didn't he?
Maybe.
He looked slightly aged from what I remember.
Okay, but being someone that is living right as the Earth is about to die because the sun's about to hit it, and still talking to his parents, the people who raised him, like Mom and Pop Kent, like that.
And still remembering everything.
Yeah, and even so
Like-
long, like how did it go? Yeah,
Yeah, like it's a complete stark contrast to like Donny Cates' Thanos run, where he's forgotten certain things,
yeah,
and it's like, and when Jason Aaron's run, it's just like, are you at this point in time yet? Are you not? Oh, I can't remember that bit. It's
Yeah.
all a blur. Like, it's nice that he remembers Mount Parkend, even though I don't see why he ever would, but it's kind of.
What do you mean? Why he? Of course he'd remember them. They're the people who raised them.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying I don't
Oh,
see
why he would
would
forget them? Okay, I thought you
Yeah.
said. I thought you were saying it as why he would even
No.
want to remember them because. I just love that imagery of him like just kneeling down while like the earth is just blowing up already. You see like fire coming out. It's like damn. And there's this one moment in here where he says, "I probably could have saved Earth. I could have pushed the sun out of it, but everything has its time. Everything.
Yeah.
I can't
It's
go
it's
against
one
the
of those
unnatural course.
Yeah, it's one of those very bittersweet moments.
Yeah."
Like it feels like he's learned a lot. Like some things have to happen. You can't avoid, dread it. You can run from it. Destiny still arrives.
Yeah, so that's, Tom King. Some people always give him crap for some of his Batman run or yada yada yada, but you can't deny this man knows his stuff when he gets down to it. Like they said, hey, you got 4 pages to write a Superman story. He's like, all right.
He wrote a fucking Superman.
He wrote a
story.
Superman. I feel like you could. This is hands down something you can hold on to. Which I feel like a lot of these other short stories are going to be something where you can hold on to for a long time. And I feel like this actually Comics 1000 is going to be like a special issue, which I think is what they meant it to be as.
But like, you could literally take out every piece of dialogue in this, and it's still just as good.
Yeah, like
that being completely silent, and he like grabs like the sand and makes it into a diamond.
Yeah,
and he carves it like the freeze breath and the eye lasers. It's just perfect, really.
I agree, and I also, I know, like you said, you could just have the dialogue and it's still great, but let's not deny this art.
I mean, that's what I was talking about. Like, you take the dialogue away, and just the art alone.
Yeah.
It's such a good little story.
I love that in this the little thing where it says like for Kent, like for them, the little plaque, It says, "You gave us hope." Which it's
Literally.
technically, yeah, he literally gave the Earth hope because he gave them Superman.
It stands for hope.
Yeah,
It's like
I still like that. This is also
he does say in the movies quickly that it's like a river, doesn't he? He does say that. Or am I thinking like the S is like a river?
I don't remember him saying that.
Is that from the movies, or am I just making that up?
I feel like you're making that up. That's a cool thing. I didn't think about that, but like I feel like you're making that up.
No, I don't think I am.
Did he say it's like a river in here?
No, not in here. I'm certain he said it in one of the movies.
No,
I don't know.
Yes, it's like a river.
Yeah, it flows. It comes and goes.
I don't think so. And I love the first, Madison and BVS. So I don't think so.
If I've made that up, kudos to me. But
True.
I really like that line. But...
True. So yeah, I think it's just a cool idea for Tom King, masterful writer, and all this. I think it was just a cool idea letting him post it. Which I guess
it's kind of, it was weird that like you want people are gonna buy this issue anyway. They've probably already brought it.
Yeah.
It's one of those. I don't even look at previews because I find if I've read that page, I tend to skip it.
Yeah.
Especially if it's the start of the issue, I'm like, no, good part. But I don't know. I don't gonna be skipping this one. No, that's for sure.
Yeah, this is gonna be a monumental issue. And I mean, of course, we could probably go over more when that issue comes out of like some of these writers, how their portrayals of Superman, like, and what are the good and bad of it and stuff like that. But I just love the idea that they just let him release it as like a preview when it's really his whole story.
Yeah.
So give it up, Tom King, Clayman. Like they did a great job with this short story, and I'm curious to see the other writers' take on it because who else is going to be on it? There's going to be a lot of like great writers on it.
Oh, it's tons. It'll be here forever naming them all. It'll be here forever when the issue comes out.
They brought out the big guns for this one, for sure. So yeah, I think
they needed it. Can someone hit me up on Twitter or even if you're in the Discord, let me know in there. Like, did I make up that river line? Because that's really going to bug me. I just can't bother to Google it myself.
So, Action Comics 1000 arrives in stores April 18, 2018. Ooh, about 5 weeks away. Something like that.
Or was it April 8th?
April 18th.
Oh, 18th. I was going to say that's really a month away.
No, the 18th.
That's not too bad then. We have some more Marvel Fresh Starts announcements. Or a Fresh Start announcement. We have... I'm going to go in reverse order for this.
You can.
Deadpool is getting a complete change. The editorial's gone on it. Like, that's getting replaced. The artist is going, and we're getting Scotty Young. I can't remember who the artist is on the book, but I know Scotty Young's taken over.
Yeah. Scotty Young and Nick Klein.
That's the one. So, I don't know what... I'm not a fan of Scotty Young. I'm not a fan of Deadpool, really. So, this is meh for me. It's like a whatever, but...
arrives in June. Just wanted to let people know.
It does arrive in June, like most of these. Next up, we've got one that came out completely out of the blue that no one saw. I think very mixed things about this one. And that's Jeff Lemire writing Superman. Because of course he went to DC to write the Fantastic Four, so he's now back at Marvel doing the Superman. Obviously, it's a Century. I like this one. I like the Century. Some people don't.
Interesting. I think it has an interesting story, and Jeff Lemire, great writer. I want to see what he could do with it.
Of course, it's a Jenkins and Lee creation, Century.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can find, because Deadpool had like a generic kind of synopsis about it. Is there a synopsis for Century that they wanted to give out?
It's following on from what
Doctor
Donny
Strange.
Cates done in Doctor Strange. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that part. Yeah, okay.
It's going to be they might have gone a bit further into it, but it's just going to be him. After that, I think he's out of space. I'm not too sure. Because most of their things are space bound now.
So it went. The artwork will change from a bit clean to dark and gritty. So that's another thing to reflect one of the two different universes, which Century will be active.
Yeah, because obviously you got the Void and the Century.
Yeah.
So that'd be a nice little art indication. I'm excited for this one. I like Century. It's been a while. He was cool in Doctor Strange.
Yeah, he really was cool in Doctor Strange. I don't remember when was the last time we saw him? I feel like it wasn't that long ago. Besides Doctor Strange.
Besides Doctor Strange, he was a Horseman of the Apocalypse in Uncanny Avengers,
Okay, okay,
and I can't remember if he died or if he just went away.
yeah,
I think this might be dealing with also um how he's alive or how he was alive after that.
yeah.
So I don't know if it's going to be a mini series or if it's like this is just the first arc of it. I imagine it's probably the first arc. If it hits 12 issues, it hits 12 issues. Um, and lastly, we have Dan Slott's Tony Stark Iron Man, which has a really cool cover. And it's a shame the cover art isn't going to be interiors, but the interior art is still kind of good. Um, Dan Slott has said it's going to be a cross between Black Mirror and Rick and Morty, which was kind of worrying personally at the start because Rick and Morty is a bit meh. Um, but if you think about it, the alcoholic side maybe could be coming back. You got the whole random inventions thing. They've said that there's going to be a lot of different armors in there, which good. It's an Iron Man issue. It should have a ton of different armors in there. Um, yeah,
Yeah, I look. That art looks amazing.
the cover art looks amazing.
Yeah, at least the cover art. Let's
I mean, the
just,
interiors look good as well, but that cover art is not something else. It looks very Japanese.
which I'm kind of fine with, even though I hated the Marvel anime.
Well, it doesn't really look like the anime.
No, it looks better.
I don't know. It just reminds me of a Japanese, no, more style of art. But I don't know why. I think it might be in some mangas. It's got that sort of art style.
It just
I think
feels like,
I think just the way his hair's going as well. It just looks.
but
Really
it also
bad.
just feels. What's about it? It's like the wavy aspects of his facial hair.
Yeah, like, where it's all straight and
And it's
thin.
all, yeah, and everything's darker to some extent. Like the shading is
Mm.
like, it just feel like you could. It just seems like that. I know what you mean.
Like if that's the cover artist for the entire run, that's going to be a really nice looking
Covers, yeah, I agree.
I might have to get them.
So yeah, I looked. Is there yeah, there's, so we had like, those were the only three that came out, right? Like recently for then,
Yeah, they're the only three they've announced this
like
week,
the new
which is
batch. Okay.
surprising to be honest, because they announced a ton over the last week, and then
Yeah.
this week's kind of dry. And with Emerald City Comic Con, you would have thought there'd have been something, but apparently there was nothing that
Yeah.
came out today. It was all this week. A lot of people are speculating that because this is called Tony Stark Iron Man, that you're going to get an Avery Williams Ironheart book. I don't see why that would mean that.
Yeah.
Like, I understand the thinking that, oh, you had Sam Wilson Captain America and Steve Rogers Captain America, but you had those because they were both Captain America. If you
Yeah.
have an Iron Man and an Iron Heart, you don't need the names to like separate the two.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
my thinking is it's just no. Tony Stark is Iron Man again. It's on the cover. Don't worry. Because obviously everyone cried about Rick Williams.
Mhm.
But yeah, I like Slot for the most part, so I'm excited to see
fine.
where he has done some really good stuff. I've enjoyed most of his Spider-Man runs. Only recently, the last couple of years, that he's been a bit dull on it. But apparently, this new arc's really good. I've heard people say so.
I'm down.
A new writer for a new IP. Same with Bendis and Superman.
Yeah.
Kickstart the old motors. So I have hope.
Same.
Going on from that though, DC yet again has a new imprint.
Which is called what, the Black Label,
Yep.
and it's said
And
to be a little bit more edgy. I hate when people use that word because there's such a bad connotation with that. Like,
well, I mean, Edgy is bad.
yeah,
Like,
it's just. I mean, I don't think
It's-
these books are gonna be bad. That's why I think when.
well, I mean, I'm kind of worried about the Superman one.
Oh, I'm worried about that mostly because of the art, and I
I
guess
mean, it's Frank Miller writing it, and Frank Miller hates Superman.
it's very true.
Like,
But I
ugh.
mean, when you look at the other ones, look. Okay, let me go down the list because we have it's only official artwork for 3 of them, but there's, I think, 6 or 7 books that are set to officially happen. So of course it's gonna be Superman Year One, Frank Miller, John Romita Jr., which I'm probably wanting to avoid at all cost. Batman: The Last Night on Earth, Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo. Yeah, okay. Batman Damned, right?
See, I'm just gonna say I am bored of Snyder and Capullo on the Batman book. I'm sorry, if that's all you can do, you're not great.
I agree. But at the same time, I think this book seems very different than what we're used to from them.
Yeah, but it's still a Batman book.
But see, I'm a fan of
You know,
when writers go different than what we know them for.
it's literally no different to Dan Slott and Spider-Man.
Yeah, yeah, and he's probably become that now, right?
Different.
Yeah. So
okay. I mean, how long has he been on Batman since the New 52 started?
Yeah, about
so
7 years. 7. Probably. Yeah.
No,
Six,
he's only 3 years off of what Slott was on Spider-Man for. It's like, thank God King's like King's Run or hate King's Run, whatever. Thank God the main Batman book is something different.
Well, I mean, I just think it would have been different anyways, because I think he had a contract to just do those 52, and then he was out for that. And he's still writing like all these other, or he hasn't done really anything in canon besides, I guess, Metal. Yeah, but that's kind of it. And everything else in the last 3 or 4 years has just been.
But isn't this in canon?
No, this is outside of canon.
So what expands canon?
Black Label. Well, this is expands canon, like in terms of
you're like extended universe.
Yeah. This is like outside of the current DC universe continuity, but it's in terms of expanding canon as expanded universe type stuff, like out there, like other stories, Elseworlds, basically. So that's okay. Yeah. Next one is Batman Last Night. Oh no, Batman Damned, Brian Azzarello and Lee Bermejo. I'll mention some of the synopsis soon, but Wonder Woman Historia, I'm gonna say Historia, The Amazons, by Kelly Sue Dominic and Phil Jimenez. Wonder Woman, Diana's Daughter by Greg Rucka, and the artist yet announced. And this one interests me. The Other History of the DC Universe by John Ridley. No artist yet announced. Look, of course we know Superman Year One. I don't know if you want me to go through all of them or just kind of like. Should we go through?
I mean, you can go through all of them.
All right, we can go through all of them.
Yeah, I did it with the Marvel ones.
All right, well, okay, because I was just gonna quickly read the synopsis. Where Superman Year One, a groundbreaking definitive treatment of Superman's classic origin story in honor of his 80th anniversary. The story details new revelations that reframe the Man of Steel's most famous milestones, from Kal-El's frantic exile from Krypton to Clark Kent's childhood in Kansas, to his inevitable rise to become the most powerful and inspiring superhero of all time. It's kind of a generic thing, basically because I think they're trying to say as little as they can, because Frank Miller is Frank Miller.
Yeah, and Frank Miller will say as much as he wants.
Yeah, and I'm just not looking forward to this one because I don't like the artist, and I think he's ruined a lot of great books.
Who's the artist?
John Romita Jr.
Oh, of course it is.
Yeah, he's ruined a lot of books, and I'm just like, man, why?
People like to say Romita Jr.'s gone downhill.
It's not a hot take anymore. It's a legit fact.
I mean, it hasn't really changed that much.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, he was never uphill, I guess.
No, it's a bit like people saying Ramos went downhill, and it's like, did you ever look at what Ramos did on Spider-Man? It was horrific.
Yeah.
We read 9 years of Ramos on Spider-Man. It was garbage.
I didn't read Dark Knight Returns 3. I think it's called Master Race. I just think Frank Miller is probably not my cup of tea. So I was like, why am I gonna read it? But there's that. So all right, Batman Last Night.
Frank Miller is really a product of his time.
Yeah.
He was great back then, but not so much
now. In a modern 2018, no.
Yeah.
All right, Batman.
Modern current.
It's true. Batman Last Night. Batman wakes up in a desert. He doesn't know what year it is or how. The Joker's head is alive in a jar beside him, and it's the beginning of a quest unlike anything the Dark Knight has undertaken before. In the strange wait, let me finish it real quick. In the strange future, villains are triumphant, and society has liberated itself from the burden of ethical codes. Fighting to survive while in search of answers, Bruce Wayne uncovers the truth about his role in this new world and begins the last Batman story ever told. Hopefully it's Scott Snyder's last Batman story ever told, because he needs a new character.
It's Old Man Logan mixed with the lost script for TASM 3.
I don't know TASM 3, but Old Man Logan.
TASM 3, Head in the Jar.
That was a thing, right?
That was a thing.
I don't.
And it was gonna be a thing.
See, I could see the Old Man Logan kind of thing, because this is like, Old Man Logan was Dark Knight Returns, right?
I suppose, yeah.
I guess I could see what you mean by Old Man Logan, but this is a little different than Dark Knight Returns, I would say.
Oh, it's definitely different than Dark Knight Returns. This is like the end.
Yeah, this is
No.
the last begins the last Batman story ever told. Which I'm telling you, hopefully it's Scott's.
Right.
Yeah, hopefully
Hopefully
it's
it's
his
his
last one.
Come over to Marvel, Snyder. Do something different with
Or
your
not,
life.
you don't
Like,
even have to go over tomorrow. Just get a different character. Look at what Jeff Johns always did. Well, Jeff Johns has the luxury of being one of the top guys. He can just move it wherever he
I
wants.
mean, Jeff Johns has the luxury of being DC at this point.
Yeah, it's true.
Like,
Scott Stiles will probably pitch it, and I'm sure they'll be okay with it.
I don't think he does. He's like, no, it's my continuity. Everything I do is continuity.
It is.
Everything you do is at the beckon of what
The
I
Scott
say.
Snyder universe, basically.
Yeah.
All right, Batman Damned is on a deserted Gotham City bridge. A body is found. Whispers spread the news. Joker is dead. But is this a dream come true or a nightmare being born? Now Batman and DC's outlaw magician John Constantine must hunt the truth through a Gotham City hellscape. The city's supernatural recesses are laced with hints about a killer's identity, but the Dark Knight's descent into horror will test his sanity and the limits of rationality, as he must face a horror that doesn't wear a mask. So... That's interesting. Like, that'd be interesting if it seems like Batman wants the Joker to come back because he feels like he can't be Batman without the Joker.
I mean, can he though?
Uh,
It's an interesting question to ask.
Like, you know, The Dark Knight, the movie, went through that type of question. It's like, you need me, I need you. We can't be each other without each other. And I'm sure other books I've read have said the same thing. Or similar. Not the same exactly.
I mean, it's a very common theme for Batman. I still think in The Dark Knight that probably should have been saved for the threequel, but you couldn't have that. Obviously.
Oh, with the Joker stuff? Yeah.
Yeah,
Probably.
Like saying that in the first meeting, like, I understand why it was in the movie at that point. It does work, but I think it'd be a bit more impactful.
Yeah, I know.
It would have been, but you know, like, you can't change history now.
It feels like, yeah, it's true. Yeah, I mean, him and John Constantine. Okay, we'll see how that goes. It's interesting. You know, Brian Azzarello.
We
pretty good.
We only saw Batman and Constantine recently, didn't we?
Like a couple years ago in the Dark Justice League. You know.
Yeah.
That animated movie where they shoehorn Batman in.
It was in the comics.
In the comics, I'm trying to remember.
Yeah. I can remember seeing Constantine standing in a building with like a pentagram behind him and Batman was there.
Maybe, I'm not entirely.
I just can't think of what that was for.
Yeah.
Right. It was definitely a couple of years ago though.
I'm gonna try to speed through the next couple. Wonder Woman is. Go ahead. What happened?
No, I was just asking how many are there.
Oh, this is 3. Okay, so Wonder Woman Historia, a Homeric epic of the lost history of the Amazons and Queen Hippolyta's rise to power. That's interesting. Featuring monsters and myths in the 3-book saga spans history from the creation of Amazons to the moment Steve Trevor washes up on the shores of Paradise Island. So it's everything before that.
I'm sorry, it sounds like the origin.
It sounds like the history book, basically.
Yeah.
Sounds like the history of the Amazons, which is...
It's hey, Wonder Woman touched upon it. Let's capitalize on the movie.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman, Diana's daughter. It's been 20 years since the world stopped looking to the skies for hope, help, and inspiration. Now the world keeps its eyes down, and the powers that have risen have every intention of keeping things that way. Amongst the scattered, broken, resistant, the young woman seeks to reclaim what has been forgotten, and on the way will learn the truth about herself, her heritage, and her destiny. And I'm assuming Diana's daughter never realized she was the mother of Wonder Woman. You know what I mean?
I'd imagine.
There's going to be this girl, and like, you know, you kind of see this in movies, or in young adult type novels too. There's this character, they're in this world, and they have to lead this resistance, but they realize, then they learn their truth is that they were, like, from somebody, like their parents were somebody big that they never knew.
It's very tropey.
Which I like, though. You know, Naruto did that. I like that. I like that, you know.
He has to bring up Naruto.
Yes, I do. I feel like it has every story alive in that show. Well, every trope, at least. Every trope.
When you go on for like 30 years, and yeah, you are going to have every
you know, my life. But I love that. I love that kind of trope. You know, I'm a fan of the Chosen One narrative type of stuff.
Yeah.
All right, last one. Other history of the DC Universe. This one I am really interested in. A compelling literary series analyzing iconic DC moments and charting socio-political gains through the perspectives of DC superheroes who come from traditionally disfranchised groups, including Jon Stewart, Extraño, who recently was in something Moon Eclipse. I forget the two kind of gay characters that were a couple. I forget their names, but that's the only way I could describe them.
Midnight and Apollo.
That's what it was. I couldn't put my finger on it.
Moon. I want to say Moon. Oh,
I want to say Moon. I forgot. I was trying to rush through. That's why.
Hey, you're Moon adjacent.
It's fact.
You're kind of there.
Vixen, Supergirl, Katana, Renee Montoya, among others. At its core, the story focuses on the lives of those behind the costumes and their endeavors to overcome real-world issues. It isn't about saving the world. It's about having the strength to simply be who you are. This one interests me the most out of all of them.
Yeah, it probably sounds the most. It sounds the most different.
It does, and that's why it interests me the most. Because all the other ones are cool, and then it's like, all right, this is an Elseworlds story, but this one just seems like something I've never heard of.
Like, also, isn't Kelly Sue DeConnick writing that Wonder Woman Historia?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's gonna be really good.
Well, yeah, she's just a great writer, so I would assume so. And also, this is gonna be like the history of the Amazon. So yeah, this is like a weird. They say edgy, but like this is almost a History Channel type of thing.
Yeah,
it's like half History Channel and half kind of out there weird stuff, but like still, it seems definitely interesting with this whole Black Label, and the words are said edgy and provocative, but such a bad connotation to it. I don't think it's gonna be bad. I think maybe the Superman one might, because Frank Miller, John Romita, but I feel the other ones have great creators, and you don't think it can really go wrong. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That might just be me, but yeah, I think that's gonna be it for DC's Black Label. You hear about this, and there's still no date for the label of Milestone Imprint.
There's never going to be a date.
So it's one of those things. There is a lot of imprints DC is doing, which...
Yeah, and spoilers, they got more coming because of Bendis.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And everything Bendis did at Marvel, that was all being published by Marvel. Like, what was it? Scarlet? Oh, was it called Scarlet? Like Powers and all that sort of stuff is now going over to DC under a new imprint. And it's just like, okay. Is this going to get delayed as well? Because apparently everything at DC is getting delayed.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah,
it's going to be the bi-yearly release date.
True.
And bi-yearly, I mean not every 6 months.
I think we're ready for the comics of the week.
Yes. Shall I go first? Because I got more.
Yeah, you go first. Yeah.
X-Men Red. Quickly, because it's the second issue. The first issue was really fucking good. Like, you compare it to the other X-Men, like X-Men Gold and Blue. Like, Tom Taylor nails the X-Men. It is insane. The first issue was Jean Grey. She essentially just bringing the team together because she's back. She wants to help mutant kind again, obviously, and she goes to like Wakanda to get their like international support. It goes to Atlantis to get their support at the UN. They go to the UN. Of course, the British one has to be the bitch. Like, not saying because Theresa May, but I'm saying it's because Theresa May. She ends up getting her head exploded outside the UN, and it's Madeline Pryor. So she's back. But this issue, it introduces us to the new character who I think she's called Trinary. It's like Trinary. I don't know how you pronounce it properly. My mush mouth can't say it properly. But essentially, she's this Indian girl. She's a technopath, so she can like control everything. And her entire story is she tried to fudge the numbers on the female pay gap in India. And she doesn't know how she got caught, but she got caught. And Jean Grey obviously gets alerted to this, and they all go and bust her out of prison, as they do, obviously. And you get your funny little Gabby moments. Essentially the issue was just them breaking out.
Yeah.
But it's just Tom Taylor. He knows how the X-Men work. Like if you weren't a fan of Jean before, but you enjoyed Resurrection, he nails the Jean from that Resurrection from Rosenberg. And of course, at the end, it's the X-Men, and the Sentinel arrives, busting out the ground. So India's got a massive Sentinel-sized hole in it.
Oh gosh, poor India.
No. Poor India.
India.
They're not poor anymore because the women got 25% increase.
Oh wow, I did not. What?
Well, because the whole her thing is the female pay gap between the men.
Oh,
it's like 25% more or 75%. It was some like quarter number.
Yeah. And
she used her technopath abilities to give them the increased difference as a bonus to like every woman in India. So there's a lot of people in India. That's a lot of money gone missing. But yeah, it's a really good issue. And that's a really good series. It's a shame it's monthly, but I can understand why it's monthly. But hopefully this one sticks around because I don't think Gold's staying around after Kitty Pryde
Yeah.
gets married to Colossus, and I don't know what's going on with Blue. I think they might be getting a team shake-up. I don't know when that is. But yeah, really good. If you want to read an X-Men book and you're not reading the other two, read this one.
All right. My first one, Batman 42, which have you probably seen the panel of Catwoman?
Oh, I've seen the panel straight out the CW.
Look, I mean, it's not that I hate the story, and it's not that it didn't make any.
There's a lot about coming here.
It's not that it did not make any sense, because it kind of did. Where they explain it as in, because okay, the whole story is Poison Ivy is basically taking control of everybody, right? Everyone around the world, even the heroes, yada yada. The only people who are not in control are Batman and Catwoman, and they talk about like their marriage and their wedding, this issue, and yada yada yada. And there's a point where, since I guess Ivy's controlling all the Flash and Superman, they figure out a way to beat them is because Ivy doesn't know how to use their powers. It's kind of like conveniences, which is like, I guess you can't get away with that in certain stuff, but this is a little bit too much.
I mean, you can kind of understand it. It's like, if she's controlling them, that means she has to use their powers, and if she doesn't know how to use their powers properly, then they're not gonna be. It can be a clever device,
I mean,
but it depends how it's executed. If someone's running really fucking quickly, taking out like 3 of them in 4 seconds isn't
hard. If like they don't know what they're doing, if they're just running straight.
Yeah, I can understand the thinking behind it, but it does kind of feel like Tom King was trying to be clever.
Yeah, and it doesn't help in the previews all of that. It was that, and it didn't have the dialogue of Batman saying why they were able to do that.
Yeah, but that's the problem with the internet and Twitter. Like, people can just screenshot these pages and be completely out of context.
Yeah,
and context is king, especially in comics.
I agree, especially for Tom King.
Unintentional.
But yeah, it's not that I hate the story. It's just kind of like we're passing through. We're just we're running down time so we can reach the wedding in a sense.
Yeah,
because everything has to do with that.
Yeah,
and
it's just spinning its wheels a little bit.
A little bit, and it's kind of like Tom saying it's not that it's bad per se, because there's certain moments in here where Ivy, her character, there's some very character moments you're like, oh wow, that's some good writing right there. Especially the moment Superman kind of kills Batman because he punches him super hard because Ivy gets angry and she's controlling Superman, and then you just see a panel. I feel like people who hate Batman are gonna keep this forever. His cowl is half broken, and his face is bloody. I think he lost a couple teeth, and he's dead. It's like,
damn. Well, I mean, that goes with the theory that people say Tom King hates Batman.
Probably.
And that's why he writes him so badly.
Probably. But yeah, I mean, it's alright. It just seems it has to do more so with, like, a lot of, ever since Batman proposed, is a lot of stories for Catwoman specifically to get her to a certain point.
Yeah.
Which is fine, because that's why, like, you're seeing Bruce kind of take a back seat so they could give Selena these emotional character moments and to further show like what she has to offer and how it's going to be more epic, because we already know Bruce and we know Catwoman, but we don't know what Catwoman has in mind for Bruce and how she feels in all this. Like, yes, she said yes, but we need to know a little bit more. So,
but can we talk about the Marvel fuckery going on with this wedding?
What happened?
Because, like, Tom King has that panel, that like now iconic, infamous panel that he proposes to Catwoman. Then Marvel teased a wedding of the century.
I remember that, yeah.
And it turns out it's Kitty Pryde and Colossus. And then just this week you have the reveal of her wedding dress, which kudos to whoever made that. That's a nice looking dress.
For Catwoman? Yeah.
For Catwoman, yeah. The whole black and the white.
Yeah, I saw that. I thought it looked nice.
But then apparently we already saw it months ago, but Marvel or Jason Scott Campbell, who's doing the variant cover for X-Men Gold 30 where they get married, has revealed Kitty Pryde's wedding dress.
Oh.
It's just like, I see you're doing, Marvel. Like, it's bad enough to copy in the wedding. Can we not just do this every time? And even like Zdarsky in Spectacular Spider-Man or Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man,
Yeah.
he got the artist to do a little troll moment of Black Cat proposing to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And it's literally the exact same panel but flipped. It's like, I see what you're doing, Marvel. Can we stop? Right? Like the Kitty Pryde wedding was enough.
It's what would you call that? Tongue in cheek type stuff, right?
It's very tongue in cheek, but Marvel does like to poke. And they like to poke at each other, really. But Marvel definitely in DC.
Look, I'll say it's an okay issue in terms of the story and all that. I still just love the art. I think the art, it's the same artist who did the War, really... Jokes and Riddles, and love this art. I think his name is Mikhail Jan. If correctly, I saw it on one of the pages, and it said art Mikhail Jan. So I was like, all right, that's probably him. Because you never know sometimes. But yeah, I just love the art. It's just pleasing enough, and I'm like, all right, I can get through it. So yeah,
it does look real. Yeah. My second one, moving on quickly, is Doctor Strange Damnation #2. They do a couple of recap issues pages at the start, they always seem to, and you can tell this one feels like it was more Donny Cates writing this than Nick Spencer, just because it's got a lot more humor than the last one. This is Wong and Bats the Ghost Dog putting the team together. Bats is begging Wong to help, and he's like, "Fine, well, I'm not going to do it myself." So he goes and gets Man Thing and Brother Voodoo from the Florida Everglades. He goes to London because apparently Blade's been in London or England this entire time. He goes to Mount Wondagore to get Elsa Bloodstone. He goes to New York to get Iron Fists, and then they all head down. They all have a massive meeting somewhere, and Wong just straight up tells them, I didn't get anyone else because you lot are expendable. If you get taken over by the Ghost Rider stuff that the Avengers have, I can take you all out easily. So you're here because you're pretty meh. It's just like, ouch. That's kind of like a morality bullbuster. They go down to Vegas, and of course Scarlet Spider lives in Vegas, so he announces he's on the team. They then get confronted by the Ghost Rider Avengers and a newly formed Ghost Rider Doctor Strange. Is the last panel, and it's just like, they're pretty fucked. So yeah, art's really fucking good. It's a lot of fun. Oh, I forgot about Moon Knight and Ghost Rider. How did I forget about those two? Damn. But yeah, so it's all of them. They go to Vegas, they get their shit pushed in. You've touched your. I'm about to say you've touched your mic again. It's that word.
So, yeah, was that it?
Yeah, it's just a really good issue. It's a fucky panel, actually, with, all the team, leaping into battle. And Iron Fist, I don't know what he was thinking.
Yeah.
Exactly. He must have turned around the other way and jumped backwards and broke its spine.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, it's a really weird show.
I haven't been reading this, but should I? I love the Donny Cates, and this is this is Donny Cates, but should I be reading?
This is Donny Cates. This is the continuation of Donny Cates' the Strange Run. Yeah. It's currently tying in.
Isn't it only a miniseries though? 4 issues?
This is 5 issues.
Okay, 5 issues. Believe. 5? Yeah. I swear it's all on the thing it said 4.
Is it 4?
It might be 4, to be honest. I can look it up on Marvel real quick, Marvel.com. Let me see. So I'm pretty sure it's 4.
I thought it was 5. It could be 4 or 5.
Yeah, it's 4. It's 4.
All right. Well, either way, it's the Damnation book is the 4 separate issues, but the tie-in, the actual main Doctor Strange run, is tying into this.
Can I just say I love the art?
The art is really good, apart from that one panel
yeah.
with. It's just like, oh, you look really strange.
Okay.
But no, it's just a really good. It's turning out to be really quite fun. That's a nice little side event for Doctor Strange.
All right.
Ghost Rider, Doctor Strange, Donny Cates is literally just slamming all the toys together.
He's that type of guy that uses all the sandbox.
I mean, he owns Marvel right now, so why the hell not?
It feels like it. He's using everything he can.
Why are you giving the key to the city? Do what the hell you want in it. All right.
Exactly. All right. My next one, Superman 42, which it's the Bizarro issue because this is introducing the Bizarro Kid, and I gotta say, the first half was basically a redone version of Superman Rebirth #1, but in the Bizarro world with Bizarro and his family, the Bizarro kid and the Bizarro Lois. And then the second half was back to reality because John kind of messed around and had his friend take him to another universe, which is the Bizarro universe. And the Bizarro kid saw John and was like, I gotta follow this kid. Who's this kid? And that's why Bizarro Kid is in our world. So it's basically an origin story. Also, kind of makes Lois and Clark look a little bit more mean. This issue,
Well, I suppose if it's like, is it from the kid's perspective?
yeah,
Because then parents are always mean from when
yeah,
you're
that's
young.
true. That's true. I mean, I don't have too much to say about this, just for the fact that somebody out there might really like it. I kind of was not really into it.
I haven't heard anything about this one, to be honest.
Yeah, I wasn't really into it. But I just don't, it's probably not in terms of writing or story or art, any of that. It's just in terms I don't care about Bizarro that much.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Well, isn't this just a filler issue?
Yeah.
Or is this part of...
I think it's kind of a... No, I think there's a story. There's going to be like an arc here with the kid, and I don't know if I'm really going to be keeping up with this arc at least.
Yeah.
So there's that, and like I'm really just talking about it just to kind of put it out there and mention it because, you know, for like this is I kind of as issue number 1 of the arc, and you know we do issues number 1 most of the time. So it's one of those things I probably won't keep up with it. I want to hear what other people think, but I just feel like people feel the same way. And like, sure, it was fine, but like I could do without Bizarro Kid, which just feels like a rehash of John, which it is technically.
It's like, it feels a bit like Bendis and Miles, where it's like, oh, you're not gonna get an original villain, you're gonna get a rehash of what Peter had.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of it for this one.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
My next one is Infinity Countdown number 1. Last week was, or the other week was Prime number 1. It's not more of the same. It's the Prime issue was telling you where the stones are, and we're now seeing what is happening with those stones. Like the first thing you see is the fight for the Power Stone, or the Power Mountain, really, as it is, between like the Nova with the pregnant Nova and the fraternity of Raptors along with Drax there.
Yeah.
And you get some like your funny moments. Like Drax goes full movie here, trying to fly with the raptor wings, but they're DNA bound, so he can't use them. Instead, he uses them to fly him up. And like you get some moments like that. People are saying that Groot's had a massive character change in this, and it's like you clearly haven't read Guardians before this run, because Groot could always talk and always do this. It was only when he got like broken into a small group before that he kind of lost all this ability. But now apparently he's had a hard reset because they beat the Gardener in this issue. Obviously following on from what Duggan's done before with that arc. So Groot's back to normal now. Like people are trying to say, oh, it's a new ability, he can do this, it's a major character change. It's like, no, he's going back to how Groot was.
Yeah.
Like, you know, calm down. But of course you got to get the headline. It takes an interesting twist. But I'll get to that in a second. Is that after the Power Stone? The Warbringer Chitauri comes into the fold for one of the stones. I'm pretty certain it's the Power Stone because Thanos took over the Chitauri, and I think he's called Warbringer. He's like, no, fuck Thanos. I want my people back, my planet. I'm gonna get this stone to take him over. At the end, this entire thing has been marketed to have Wolverine in it. And Duggan goes, I don't want Wolverine in this story, but I'm going to have Black Widow. So I'm going to have Wolverine literally upper decker the Infinity Stone he had in a random toilet for Natasha to go and find.
Yeah, I mean, I did read this, so it's like, you're right. It did feel like, where's Wolverine?
It kind of felt like, huh?
And it makes me feel sad that I wasn't reading Dugan's Guardians run, because this is really fun and this is good.
But like, this Infinity Countdown to me feels like it's more the end of his run than the start of an event. Because they made a little trailer for this, and he says this is just a big thing before the actual, like, before what we're going to do with the proper event. So this is all just build up.
You know what? I gotta say though, I never, I don't know everything about Marvel, but especially in the Prime issue, when it had like the beginning and it showed the stones and it showed how they work, and they really all work best when they're together or in pairs.
He's changed how they work.
Okay, yeah.
He's changed because before they all worked individually. They all had their own.
But now they could only work in pairs, right?
Well, no, they're not only working in pairs, but they're like before it was you could have each one, and then if you had the Power Stone amplifies each one.
Oh, okay.
In this one, it's not just that one singular stone amplifies that. He made it more of an infinity loop where this stone powers that one, and that one powers this one more. Like it just amplifies.
Yeah, which I think is cool. I mean, it even has the little infinity symbol.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, with the arrows.
Which I really like the change he's done because
I do too.
He's looking at it more of the source code of the universe, and they should do things in a certain way. Like the Reality Stone could warp reality. Sure, that's kind of a different change in this one now because it gives you the keys to the multiverse, and before they didn't work outside of their own universe.
Yeah.
Which didn't make sense for the 1610 because you could have an unlimited amount of Infinity Stones in that one. But like, I don't know, I just like how he's playing about with them, and the fact that he's actually taking advantage of Secret Wars. And he's like, look, the stones were destroyed -1 before Secret Wars. The universe got rebuilt. They're different now. Deal with it. Like the color's different. We addressed we acknowledge that they're different because Star-Lord in the past has gone like, why is it purple now? So like they're acknowledging the changes. Like, and I think what this is leading up to is going to address everything from Secret Wars.
That's cool.
Like every question you've had, a bit like how Al Ewing's Ultimates did, where it established the order of the cosmology. This is going to address everything people have wanted to know.
I low-key wish this kind of would happen in the movie, in Infinity War. You know, like you have a little. I know probably people will see it as exposition, but I feel like, especially if it's something as unique as this in terms of their explanation, also just in terms of how they work.
I think you're going to get the visual representation of how they work in the movie. Because you look at that one shot from Entertainment Weekly where he has the moon.
Yeah.
Or that moon. No. He's only, in that shot, he's only got the power and the space stone.
Yeah.
Now, everyone's going, well, how does that work? Space doesn't do that. It's like, well, you don't know what these stones can really do. It's like what I've been trying to say with the Reality Stone in the movies. We don't know what that stone can do. We never saw it really do anything.
I agree.
So him using like the space stone to grab something and put it towards him, and then the power stone to like crush it, we're gonna see him use it in different ways, and hopefully they're probably not going to take anything from this.
No, for sure, because this is like after and.
Yeah, I'd imagine he's read the script for Infinity War and he's taken things from it, so it's probably more like that.
Yeah.
And that's why they're like they are now.
That's cool. I think that's cool.
Yeah, because it would make sense. Like the Reality Stone in the movies was tied to the convergence they were trying to do in the Dark World, so it would make sense to have it as a doorway sort of thing.
Yeah.
But no, I really like what he's doing here. It's very different. It's a very different type of Infinity Stone story, and that's what I appreciate. It's not Thanos has stones or someone has stones, bad things happen. It's no, people want these stones for different reasons, and it's the people we're focusing on.
I think that's a way different take on like the usual, as you said, and that just makes it even better, I think.
No, it just mixes it up. Like, yes, the Hickman Infinity event was different to like the Infinity Gauntlet,
which was great. Hickman's Infinity event was great.
Oh, it was. I will not badmouth. I did enjoy that, even though we'll never get Thane in the movies. But
oh, I know.
It's ripping humans. But
yeah. All right. I guess I could go on to my last one. Justice League 40, which I love Christopher Priest and I love what he's trying to do. But I just think the artist is doing him a disservice. I think
who's the artist?
The artist is Pete Woods. Pete Woods. I'm sorry, but it just doesn't match. Like, not even like in terms of bad art. It just doesn't match to the story that Priest is trying to tell, and Priest is trying to give this different perspective. I mean, Priest tries to get like, okay, so like. There's something going on, and there's a riot, and the chemical plant exploded. So yada yada yada. The Justice League is being split between two sides, the rich and the poor, and stuff like that. And it just really makes it look too cartoony. And it's like I feel like it's supposed to be a little bit more serious. and they even give Cyborg a new look, which I'm not sure if I'm a fan of yet, but I think we'll see. And I just gotta say, like, I think there's moments where I thought, okay, this is just gonna retread similar things. Priest has lost his touch, but then I'm like, oh wait, Priest did something a little bit different. Because this time around, the Watchtower is being brought down, right? And it's like, yeah, you hear about that a lot, like the Watchtower being brought down. Like, how many times have they brought down the Watchtower and tried to do something with how it's gonna destroy Earth or a planet? But this time around, it's not about what the heroes on Earth are doing about trying to save Earth from the Watchtower. It's about the people on the Watchtower trying to survive because they're about to die because the Watchtower is falling down.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's interesting. Except the art sucks. But yeah, it's about like different heroes from Justice League of America and Justice League saying no, oh, he doesn't deserve to, like, we don't need him, or yada yada. Like, who's trying to survive the most? There's alliances being made, and even some characters saying like people need the Justice League more because they're more inspiring, and they don't need us who are just these scrappy younger heroes and stuff like that. And it's like just interesting perspectives. I just think the art is like, ugh. But there is one piece of art that I was like, all right, I could deal with it, and that was the last one, the last page. You see the Watchtower going down, and it reminds me a lot of the recent Inhumans, where it's very colorful,
Ugh.
the lines are thin, and it's almost has this weird vibe to it, but I enjoyed it. I don't know if you remember Inhumans where, here, I need to send you this picture real quick.
And say what Inhumans, the TV show, the comics?
No, not the TV show, the comics, but let me see. Does this?
Oh, what? How Attilian is, where it's like all straight lines.
Here, look at I sent you in the chat. Does this picture remind you of Inhumans? Because for some reason it reminds me of that, like one of the comics, like kind of recent last year.
Yeah. It's very much like the same shape, like how New Attilian is, just like that pillar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the only saving grace, and I was thinking, oh, maybe he learned his lesson. He's like, through one issue, he went from bad artist to an okay better. So, I don't want to say he's a bad artist, because I'm pretty sure they brought him in for a reason, but like, I just think it just doesn't match, like, the beginning. Like, that one, a little bit more than usual, like that last one, but just the rest of the issue, nah. Wasn't a fan of it. It's really more missed than hit on it. But Christopher Priest, he does good in the second half, at least. Like, the first half, it tries to be very social about it, but then it remembers, like, no, wait, I wanted to do another story, so, yeah. So, I mean, it's cool. I like this issue. I definitely think this is better than Brian Hitch's run, which everybody hated.
I was gonna say, it's not hard, is it?
No. But I definitely love this different aspect of it, where the Justice League of America versus Justice League of who's trying to survive, who's more personal, or who's more selfish and all that. Like, it's kind of showing the true characters while the Watchtower's dying, so, yeah. All right, that's kind of it.
Cool. My last one is Avengers 683, which is part 9 of No Surrender.
Yeah.
We are only 7 issues away from the end. I believe it's 16.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, it's very much another character spotlight, where last week you had Hawkeye and Red Wolf because they only appeared in one panel prior to that. This one focuses on the Nadia, Beast, and Jarvis spotlight, like subplot. And it kind of it confirms what everyone originally thought. Really, like it might not go that route. I hope it doesn't. But they save Jarvis. Nadia shrinks Beast down. He goes and gets his alien parasite out of his head or his brain, and he sees all his memories. And Voyager isn't there.
Ooh.
And like, I don't know if everyone noticed that straight away. It was one of the first things I was like, hang on, we've been seeing memories of her being there, and now she's not actually there. But he's not the only one. Vision, when he came out of the stasis that these people are in for some reason, like, he questioned who, or he said who, and then he froze again when he saw Voyager. Yeah, and obviously they still had the pyramid at the hospital where Jarvis is, and Nadia goes to touch it. She thinks she's sacrificing herself, obviously, but she's actually not. It doesn't work for some reason. There's like a little field around it, but as that happens, Jarvis and Beast meet up with Nadia, and Voyager appears and disappears with it, and they have that little like evil smirky panel with her. It's just like, oh, I didn't want her to be a villain. Like, hopefully, I'm really hoping it's not that she's just a straight villain.
Yeah.
I can see it being like where they've teased that the Challenger has the Hulk on his side. I can see that being a red herring, and he's actually talking about Voyager, which I really hope it's not. I really hope he is talking about the Hulk, because I think Voyager as a character's got potential. Like, she's got potential to be a good villain, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I'd much rather see her as a hero and like maybe get her own little solo so Zub can like expand on her a bit more. Even though she's kind of the same.
You think she'd get a solo?
I don't think she will. I could see. I'd like a mini, if anything. Like, give me a 6-issue mini series.
Yeah.
Going into a character a bit more, because she, like, for the amount of hype they tried to build, because they did push her a little bit. She hasn't really done much up until this point. But then again, they haven't really taken a time with most of the issues being like a 2-part fight for the Pyramoid, and they've really taken a time with everything. But this is definitely the issue where the plot kicks in. And what else was it that went on this issue? Oh, wow, that was it. That was a short one. That time.
Yeah, it felt like a short one.
Yeah, it's definitely. I don't know. I just hope that she's not. It's not the obvious traditional twist that she's a villain. Mainly because I was adamant she wasn't, because it was too obvious. So I can see all the like that. You were wrong. It's just like, oh, I know. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they take it.
Yeah.
Because I honestly don't believe it's that simple. Because it's just so obvious. And I'd imagine what's his name? Victory, the electromagnetic man that caused her to shift out of reality from the flashback from Avengers 70 is probably going to make a reappearance. I don't see why you'd bring that character in or address him and give him a name to not do anything with him. Which would be interesting, because that's essentially Mark Waid's Justice League character from the 90s, I think, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But yeah. I'm enjoying this run. It's very nice.
It's cool. I do enjoy Voyager, though, to an extent.
She's one of those cool designs, and I think that's probably the main thing with me. Like, she just looks cool, very like 80s sci-fi, and I appreciate that.
I agree.
But yeah, some people aren't enjoying this because apparently, I say apparently, they think it's kind of dragging its feet a little bit. I can kind of agree, but I think like the art of the art and just like how the time they're taking with it, I think I appreciate a lot. So I've been enjoying it. Yeah. So yeah.
I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully next week, everything's back to normal in terms of videos.
It should be. I can't see why it wouldn't be.
Yeah. Yeah. You're gonna have me want to say it first, as I.
Oh yeah, I'm sitting there waiting for it. Like.
Toodles.
Until next time.